Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, and my distinguished colleagues. I'm here to talk about the state of Alaska and the mission. According to Air Force Billy Mitchell, way back many, many years ago, he said, "He who holds Alaska holds the world." And I think Alaska is the most important strategic place in the world. It's true what General Mitchell said in 1933. That was the year I was born, by the way. Alaska offers an unparalleled training areas, including Joint Pacific-Alaska Range Complex. While ranges in the lower 48 are parts of the states, JBEAR's training areas are the size of the states. Give you an idea, 65,000 square miles of encumbered airspace, that's the size of Florida. For 2,490 square miles of land space, the size of Delaware. 42,000 square nautical miles of surface, subsurface, and overland airspace over the Gulf of Alaska, the size of Virginia. More than that, the support for our service members, their families, and veterans runs deep in Alaska. Alaskans' active duty military personnel combined with our Vietnam population, our veteran population, equate to more than 15% of the state's entire population. We as Alaskans pride ourselves in the strong mutually beneficial relationship we have with our Alaskan-based military members. Many of those have been going overseas, actually are deployed from Alaska. As you continue in the FY 20,000 process, native process, I'd like to highlight several specific funding and language requests that are important to Alaska and the United States mission. First, I'd like to request the committee include a sense of Congress regarding the Air Force's F-35 basing in the Pacific. In August of 2014, the Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska was named as the preferred alternative for Pacific F-35 basing. Regardless, it's important to continue to highlight Congress's desire to see the Air Force consider Alaska's military value as part of its strategic basing process. Pacific F-35s would be based at a location that has the ability to host fighter-based bilateral and multilateral training opportunities, has significant airspace and ranges to meet its air training requirements, has existing facilities to support personnel operations and logistic needs, has limited encroachment from outside, and minimize the overall construction and operational costs. Eielson offers the Air Force these capabilities. Second, I'd like to speak for a moment on the Alaskan Native Hawaiian Small Business Administration 8A program. Mr. Chairman, we've talked about this last year. This is a new section. Section 811 has a large negative effect on Native Americans' Hawaiian community-based contracting organization pursuing SBA 8A programs. And I will say, personally, I believe this program has worked well for the government, for the military, and the taxpayer. I also would support a no-cost land for this is a very small thing, Mr. Chairman, a no-cost land transfer from the Air Force to the city of Galena, Alaska. The western Alaska town of Galena was hit by a devastating flood in the spring of 2013. It was really a bad flood. Federal and state disasters were declared, and more than $75 million, $56 million federal and $19 million state has been spent to recover this city. While Galena has made great strides to recover from this terrible disaster, its residents are still vulnerable to the catastrophic floods due to the location of the Yukon River floodplain. To eliminate the flood threat, the city of Galena would like to move to higher ground. They have done surveys of the areas and found an optimal area above the floodplain in the former home of the Champion Air Force radar station. This area has been actually abandoned. It's still maintained by the Air Force, but very frankly, they don't have any objection if we can transfer to the city of Galena. It costs nothing to the taxpayer. It will save the city and actually take land off out of the Air Force's hands. I also request funding authorizing $10 million for state-sponsored aerospace facilities, which have been funded before, a Missile Defense Agency and ground-based missile defense and sensors. That's the PB-16. An F-35 procurement, RDT&E, Alaska military construction, including projects at Fort Greely and Eielson Air Force Base, the civil military, including the National Guard Youth Challenge and innovative readiness training programs. Language for a report of efforts to reduce high-energy costs of military installations. Language to expand space available travel for gray area retirees. And remember, we have a lot of veterans and surviving spouses on airplanes that are available. Again, Mr. Chairman, I thank you and the ranking members and the members of the committee. I would like to suggest, Mr. Chairman, and I ask you this personally and the committee, come to Alaska. This is a fine military area. Has been, always has been. will continue to be. It is the key to our strategic mission as far as military goes. Many of the bases we have today in the lower 48 have really no contributing factor other than just being political. And I say this respectfully. If you want to solve a mission, you can get to anywhere in the world quicker from Alaska than any other base in the United States. Now, you might not say that about Guam or some Philippines, but it is an area. Mr. Chairman, with that, I thank you and answer any questions.
Thank you. I know that there are a group of our members who are planning on going to Alaska before too long on one of their Pacific trips. So any member have questions of Mr. Young? Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.